Let's get into another tutorial on how to use Sora 2. Now the reason I haven't done this before is, well, two things. One is because when new things come out, they're not normally optimized. Now I've mentioned this previously in other videos, so once again, like the WAN 2.2 video that I done last week, watch that and you're gonna understand exactly what I'm on about in terms of optimization. And then number two is because it's not really that relevant to full AI models. However, it's very, very good for hybrid models. So if you are currently a real creator, using this software is going to be able to help you get more AI content a lot easier, which is always a big plus. So today I'm going to be talking you through a few basic things. I'm also going to be giving out one invite code. So if anyone does want that or is in need of that, then make sure you drop a comment down below. I'm going to reply to one person with that invite code, probably 24 hours after posting this, maybe 48 hours. Depends on how many views it gets. I will be giving out an invite code for free down below. So firstly, what are the main steps we need to do to be able to get Sora set up on our device? Now, firstly, it's only released in America, USA. So that you're gonna have to have an app store that is set up in the USA. Now, this may be a little bit of a problem for a lot of you because you're not in America. And obviously, how are you gonna do that? So the first things first is you need to make sure that you've got no subscriptions on your app store before you change the location of your app store. If you have got current subscriptions on your app store, this process isn't going to work. However, if you don't have current subscriptions on your app store, you can simply change your location, which is quite easy. If you do it with the subscriptions, your subscriptions are going to get cancelled, and that's a bit of a ball ache. So make sure that the subscriptions are cancelled or postponed or whatever, and then change your location to America or USA. After you've done that, you can then download the Sora app, which obviously looks like this. That Sora app is obviously going to be very, very useful for yourself when it comes to creating this content. Sora is very similar to Instagram and TikTok. It actually does have a social media platform attached to it. So this means that any content that you make, you can post and you can get additional views on this platform, which is pretty cool, right? So make sure when you do actually make content, you do post a little bit more on that Sora platform just so you can try get the additional reach from that audience and then try funnel them across to your original page. Once you've got the Sora app, you obviously want to get into it. Setting up an account is easy. However, you are going to require an invite code. This invite code comes from people that already currently have an account, and you have to get invited to this app, to this software. So you can't just join it for free. I'm going to be dropping an invite code down in the comment section below. So if you are interested, comment on this post and I'm most likely going to pick one person at random that I'm just going to reply to and send them that invite code. After you've activated this code on the app, you can then start to use the app itself. You can use other creators using certain target words or trigger words. However, most of the time you're going to be wanting to scan yourself in and make a custom AI character of yourself. This is very, very easy. You just require yourself in person to look at the camera, do like a little left and right head movement, and then that's obviously going to accept you on the phone, and it's going to make that 3D image of yourself. You're also going to have to read out a few numbers. So if you are thinking about trying to do this in some weird jailbreak way to get your AR model on there, it's going to have to read numbers live to a phone if you are going to try bypass this. But once again, most likely not going to work and not really worth doing currently, especially if you're a full AR model. You've got VO 3 or VO 3.1, I believe is the update, which I'm going to be doing a video on next once I've learned a little bit more about the software. But on Sora, once you've got your face scanned in, you can then start making content just based on prompts. This is really, really easy. Just simply use your keyword, such as your name or whatever you just set it to when you're making the face, and then put a prompt afterwards. If you want to use other influencers, collaborate with them and use their keyword as well. It is as simple as that. It's not actually that hard to get everything set up on Sora, but the difficult thing is that you can't do a full AR model on this platform. So most of the time, it's going to be pretty useless to you guys who are in that realm. However, what some people have been doing is creating this content and then face swapping it, or doing things like that, which is obviously a very good idea. However, once again, isn't full AI content of an AI character, which isn't really useful. So competitors like VO 3.1 is obviously very, very crucial when it comes to creating this content. This has been quite a small tutorial today. However, it is quite straightforward on how to do all of this. So if you are stuck, once again, feel free to message me in the comments. I can do an additional video for this. But the capabilities of Sora 2 is obviously very, very advanced. It can do face and voice generation and obviously sync them at the same time with other people. So that's great. However, in 6 months, AI is advancing so quickly and it's going to be in a whole new ball game. So make sure you keep an eye out for the updates. I'm sure Sora 3 is coming out, VEO 3.1 is also coming out, so make sure you keep your eyes out on these updates.